Alrighty, we're here at the Berea Crafts Festival, and what was your name? What's your first name?
Mark Williams.
Mark Williams. And I'm talking with Mark. Earlier I covered the July 4th festival where they were selling the "Yup, I'm a Racist" t-shirts, and I wanted to show people another side of Kentucky. Mark, what's the other side of Kentucky?
Well, I'm from Lexington as well. We're not all racists. I think a lot of those things are cultural. I've lived in eastern Kentucky where I heard a lot of racist comments by people who had never met anyone. And I think a lot of it is just been a lot of poverty here. There's been a lot of mistrust, been a lot of using of people culturally, and I think that has led, people are always looking to be a little far above someone else, and unfortunately those things catch on.
What is so great about the Berea Craft Festival? I mean, what excites you about being here?
I've been coming to a festival here since I was a kid in the 70s. I can remember seeing broom makers and people dyeing wool and people exhibiting these beautiful crafts, and left a strong impression on me, and also the music heritage. I was just talking with a lady about seeing Gene Ritchie and Homer Ledford sitting right over here playing music just like these guys are. Those things carried with me, and now my wife and I are full-time craft artists. It was not something I ever thought I'd be doing, and we're so honored to be here and share in this.
I understand all of your crafts are ecologically friendly, they're green. What drives that? What really made you want to embrace the green craftsmanship, and why is that important for America to understand?
Well, we like to inspire people, and we love it when good business practices go along with green. And what we've found in our search for good materials is that is why things happen. We originally started looking for good materials because as we turned my wife's hobby into a business, we were buying a few beads here and there and a little bit of silver. We began to source, and we knew we were aiming to make our living off this someday. We knew there was a little child labor in the industry. As it turns out, there's a lot of child sweatshop labor in the industry. Silver mining is atrocious. Silver is processed with cyanide. There's a lot of water usage, sometimes to blast ore out of pits, sometimes just washing the cyanide and detritus off of the ore after it's been processed with cyanide. Our refiner in Virginia says it saves them 200 gallons of water on their end to use recycled silver versus mined silver. So that really led us to wanting to use recycled silver, and then we were really excited to hear about recycled silver that is tarnish resistant by using a little recycled material from computers, germanium, that a British metallurgist came up with. So nobody has to use any toxic chemicals as well. The bead industry, we learned things like over 10,000 kids a year are documented dying from silicosis and asthma, breathing in rock dust, processing chip beads and other gemstone beads. We tried very hard to find things that we could document were not coming from sweatshops and children, and it was just nearly impossible. The layers of distribution prevent you from knowing where things are coming from. We'd worked in the food industry with fair trade. We began looking for fair trade beads, and we found a wonderful glass artist in Ghana, West Africa. We would have liked to have supported a folk art tradition in our own state. Unfortunately, we didn't find that available. But rather than buy sweatshop beads, we're now supporting a 300-year-old folk art tradition by a man who learned from his father and his grandfather, fires his beads in clay ovens, and he's taught his 2 children how to do this, but they go to school during the day, and that's huge. We don't know what 2 kids in Ghana who have the ability to go to school will be able to do for us in the future. And we also know that that's how circulation works.
So you're saying that we have progressives here in Kentucky, craftsmen, who are trading with a country in Africa to put their product out.
And I feel like part of the problem with our economy now is we're not having circulation. The middle class has been squeezed. Money is working its way to the top. We're all about abundance. We want people to have abundance, but what we see is that people are being squeezed tighter and tighter, and that means the circulation cuts down, and circulation is what drives our economy. We send, and these statistics are a few years old now, but over $90 million in aid to the continent of Africa every year. That doesn't include our military actions for all the chaos from poverty situations there. Aid may be a great emergency solution in some cases, but unless people have sustainable businesses, they're not going to have disposable income, and there's not going to be circulation, and there will always be conflict. If we expect countries to be able to buy products from us, we have to pay them fairly so that they can. And even with the exchange value of our money in Africa, we still get a great deal when we pay fair wages there. We don't have to pay slave wages. And we just don't believe children should be working in sweatshops 16 hours a day. We didn't want that for our children here. We passed laws about those things 100 years ago, and we shouldn't be supporting those things. I shouldn't say should, but we don't choose to support those practices in the world, and we don't have to, and we'd like to inspire people that you can use good materials. Our refiner is saving lots of energy now in refining recycled silver. They don't have to melt rock ore.
So it doesn't just, you're not just doing good, it's good business sense is what you're saying?
They are probably saving a lot of money in burning coal. They're probably saving a lot of problems with the EPA from putting out the pollution of burning coal. They use, just for a wedding band amount of material, they say they use 200 gallons less water than processing ore. So that's great business practices. These computer motherboards that were ending up in third world countries and children were burning them to retrieve the tiny bits of metal are now being recycled cleanly for our refiner, and they're using that metal to make the silver tarnish resistant. That's good business practice. We can't force those things down people's throats, but when it all meshes together, that's when we have a great solution to those problems.
Well, Mark, I appreciate what you're doing, and I appreciate your perspective, and I'm glad that you took the time to share it with me.
Thank you. Appreciate you.